Hi everybody, how are you all doing this evening, this Monday evening? Guys, I hope you're well. Welcome again to my YouTube channel. If it's your first time here, you're very welcome. Welcome aboard. And if you are a returning subscriber, I just want to take this moment to say thank you very much for always supporting this channel. Thank you for your continued support, guys. I do not take this for granted. And that's why you see I keep on bringing more content. Thank you so much, guys. I do appreciate it. I don't take this for granted. Now, guys, in today's story, I just happened to watch one story, guys, that has left me baffled. And as usual, I decided to share with you, my people, so that we can expound, so that we can get educated, so that we can learn one or two. But one thing I'm going to ask you guys, what's happening to the world today, though? What is happening to this world now? We all know, we are all very aware, in the days that we are walking in, they are very evil days. Let's just be honest. Guys, the wickedness of this world, it is too much. So I just happened to see, this video, and I couldn't bring myself to, understand what is happening. Like, when you watch a video and you are like, you're lost for words. And I was like, let me share it with you guys so that maybe we can even talk down there in the comments, and so that we can, all of us maybe come to a place where we can even offer prayers for the people involved, because really the world is needing prayers even more than it has ever needed. We have always needed prayers, but this time is too much. You guys, you've watched that short clip, because I cannot bring you a bigger clip than that, because that's not mine. First, I want to say thank you so much to Afrimax English. Thank you so much. This is their video, guys, so that video is not mine, so I'm not going to own to any rights to own in that video. But I just decided to just show that little clip so that you can have an idea of what I'm talking about, because guys, this is the title caught my attention, because of late I've been speaking about forgiveness. And so I saw this young boy who said he'll never forgive his parents. And I was like, oh God, I've been speaking about this. So that intrigued me to want to look further, to want to watch the video. And after watching that video, guys, I said, maybe if I share with you, we can all maybe identify some issues or some areas in our lives where we have ever been offended or betrayed so hard, where we have been left with scars and we have really struggled to forgive. Or maybe in a scenario, in a story like this, how can we even tell this young man to forgive his parents? Okay, let me also say this. When you've been really hurt, because sometimes, we have levels of hurt. When you have been really hurt, like this story now I'm going to, narrate to you, how do you forgive? Because, it's very easy for us to say, oh, forgive people, release people. But now let us go to the depth of it, the depth of that pain, that trauma, that sometimes even as when you hear a story, or when you watch such stories, you are like, hey, Father, yes, you have said that we should forgive. How would we forgive this? Because even as we are saying, let's forgive, we need to see from a deeper perspective how we are forgiving. Because let's face it, as human beings, sometimes we are faced with blockage, when it comes to forgiving people, when we've been hurt so badly. And sometimes you might be telling that person, oh, forgive, release, so that you're blessed. But do we just go to a person and just tell them forgive? That's why I decided to share this story. As you know, it is not my story, okay? That little clip is not mine, but my story, the story that I'm talking to you right now, it's mine because I'm expanding on that story. And it's because of the title, I will never forgive my parents. First of all, again, I want to thank Afrimax English. I want to thank people who go deep down. All those people, those channels that go deep down, they uncover such stories. They bring them to the light, stories that maybe would never have been aired. Uncovering situations for people like this young man, to be helped, and to also be found, and so that we can also hear, watch, and learn from this story. Because, we are many out here who have also gone through challenges. And there are many people out there who are also going through challenges. And there are many people out there who have not been found yet, who are having maybe even worse stories like this, or even equally the same. Now, we know, guys, that forgiveness is about letting go, okay, of the past pains, and understanding that you can never just hold a grudge forever with somebody. So it's letting go of those past pains. But then how easy is it to do that? How easy is it to do that, guys? Is it that easy? Is it a 1, 2, 3 thing? Do we just forgive today and we're like, oh, I forgive. I forgive. Then you wake up the next day and you're begrudging or you're in bitterness. So you see, it's not just a one-off thing, guys. And I don't know why I feel the need to go on about this, but let me tell you something. That young boy was born by his 2 parents, and both of them together sat down and decided they are going to dispose of their child, because he was born with half a body, and if you have noticed, his fingers were like kind of held together, and so they decided to dispose him. But who is like God? Because the day they did so, that's when Grandpa, the father of the son, the father of the child, was coming to visit them. And so he saw a crowd of people gathered, and he was curious. He went to check, and he realized, this is my grandchild who has been thrown here beside the road. He picked his grandchild and he went back to the village. And he tended to, his grandchild. It was not easy. Grandpa is not well off, so, there were a lot of challenges, poverty, limitations. And the young boy started going to school. Grandpa would always carry him to school, very far, very far. And yes, a lot of challenges. Now, when the young boy was, big enough to an age where he could understand a little bit, because he kept asking, his father who his parents were. And of course, he was going to school now. And don't forget that this young boy goes to school on his hands. You can see he has a half of a body. So he just goes to school in that manner. And so Afrimax English were asking if, they were airing the story if this young boy can be provided with a wheelchair. And guess what, guys? This young boy is very intelligent. Very intelligent. He gets the best grades in the class, and he loves school. And so his grandpa agrees with him, and so he does all he can through his struggles to make sure that grandchild is educated. And so one day, when he was old enough and he was pestering Grandpa decided to tell him the whole story, what happened. And the young boy was really affected. Who wouldn't, guys? Who wouldn't? He closed down to himself. He isolated himself. He was in pain. He was angry, which is understandable, which is normal. And he did not even want to talk to anyone. But with time, he had some friends who were coming around and encouraging him and his grandpa. What I want to say to this young man is, even though he experienced the pain of being thrown out by his parents, he did not lose his parents. They lost him, and they lost the blessings, because he is a blessing. So we see in this young man, we see a lot of betrayal, we see anger, we see pain, we see rejection because of the abandonment that occurred. And then now we see that now all that pain amounting to bitterness, and he is saying he cannot forgive his parents. But we can see through the story, they say that now he's getting in terms with how things are. Of course, it's not come to the point of forgiving his parents. Now, that's why I asked, when is it the right time to forgive, guys? When is it the right time to forgive? I want to tell you this. If you are out there and you have been abandoned, you have been rejected, I want to tell you this. You have not lost anything. These people who have rejected you, these people who have abandoned you, they're the ones who have lost on that blessing. When you see someone who is being abandoned, it's because the enemy wants, of course, to destroy the purpose of this person, because he can see that the heavy destiny, and the enemy will do anything possible to make sure that he's going to, bring such kind of things as rejection and barriers, so that that person does not reach to their destiny. That's why we see levels of trauma, levels of pain, and you wonder, why is it some people have to suffer such pain? It is because there is something heavy that God has put upon this person. Because if you see this young man, he's so intelligent. If you see how even he, takes care of himself, such a young, beautiful young man who is top in the class. Through the challenges, he is among the top in the class. Very intelligent. He has the best grades. What can we say to that? He said that though he's handicapped, his brain is okay. It's just his physical body that has is handicapped, but his brain is okay. So please, parents, when you give birth to your child, and this child has a special need, there is a deformity somewhere, please, when God was giving you that child, he knew that you could handle. God never gives anybody anything that we cannot handle. So please do not throw out your children. Do not dispose of a child. That's a blessing from God. Do not throw that child away. Take care of that child. Nurture that child. Give love. God knew why he gave you that child. So I thank God, because Grandpa took all the blessings. Yes, Grandpa of this young man, he took all the blessings because he stood with his grandchild, and he's continuing to stand with his grandchild. And now his story is out there. Of course, that is a life that is going to be changed, because there's no way they can remain the same anymore. You see, there is sometimes when you could be facing a dark situation, and maybe you might even think you're forgotten, or maybe nothing will ever happen. Let me tell you, to the world you could be forgotten, but to God, you're not forgotten. So if you are going through a situation, rejection, maybe marriage has broken down, you've been rejected, maybe your parents also rejected you and forsook you. Listen, I want to tell you this. The world can forsake, the world can forget, but God never forgets. And sometimes you might think, no one can see me, no one can allocate me, my story is forgotten, but God never forgets. And he sees you. Now, this young man is going to take a lot of time for him to forgive. See, when we say forgive, guys, there is a process. Even the Lord Jesus, he knows that there's a process, because we're dealing with emotions and with feelings, and especially if the trauma has been so deep, we go with it step by step, layer by layer. That's why, like for example, a marriage breakdown, it doesn't take just a snap of a finger to forgive that person, because you have to go through a phase. Like that young man, he went through a phase of anger, isolation. He did not want to even talk to anybody. But then after, he came to realize that it's okay, it cannot go on like that forever. Yes, he has not totally forgiven his parents, but he is on the road. So many things have to happen to that young man for him to really come to a place of forgiving them. And I pray that he's going to get to that place, because that is the biggest breakthrough for him. So if you have been struggling with forgiveness, I want to tell you this. Though we are saying forgive, it is a journey. It is a process. It's gradual. It just never happens overnight. Otherwise, that would just be hypocritical. But do not harbor to the point of feeling you cannot do it. Just ask the Lord Jesus to help you and show you how to. And one day, slowly by slowly, but every day say, Lord, I want to release this person. I want to release them because I do not have the capacity to hold them in grudges, because I never died for anybody. But Lord, there's a blockage. I do not know how to forgive these people. They have hurt me so much. And let me tell you something. As you go on every day asking him, every day he'll begin to pour his love and his grace unto you. One day you'll be in a place where you'll say, I forgive. This young boy, I pray that he's going to come to that place as well, one day, to be able to release his parents. Let us know that this journey of forgiveness, it is not just an instant journey, an instant thing like this. It is a journey that is gradual. But if you look up to it and decide, I'm going to forgive. If that is your heart's desire, the Lord Jesus is going to help you to be able to come to that place. Yes. But you have to ask Him to help you, and He will. Okay, guys. So let us remember to be nice to one another. Let us remember to pray for other people. As we are hearing these stories, guys, and we are seeing all these stories, listen, sometimes we can feel offended, we can feel angry. Remember this. This story do not come so that we can spectate or be entertained. You know, a story that we see can be something like an assignment for you to pray about. So when you see a story that is so traumatizing, or you see stories that, you know, you cannot even comprehend what is happening, how about to bring it as a prayer item? Because God has told us to love one another and to pray for one another. So guys, that's all I wanted to share with you. Remember, if you're struggling to forgive, it is normal. It is very normal to struggle to forgive, but eventually that should be your main goal. Pray, and the Lord will see your heart, and one day you release that person. Do not keep it to yourself. And let us be kind to one another, compassionate to other people. You know, seeing around let us be more open to seeing the people in our midst who are suffering. And that's why I'm thanking such channels like Afrimax English, because they're bringing stories that we could never see. Tuko, Barothi, many other channels out there that decide to air such stories. We are so grateful because most people have suffered in silence. Alright guys, that's all I wanted to share with you tonight, and you have a lovely time, and thank you so much for watching. Bye. God bless.